Alrighty, good morning everybody. At least it's morning for me where I'm at. This is the first words I've spoken today, so my throat's still a little rough. So I've got quite a few hours in on adjusting this Whiscombe after gluing the last forearm back on. The last makes it sound like there were so many of them, two sides. Here in a sandy condition I can hardly see the repairs. Once they're oiled, I think they'll be a little more visible just because of the contrasting color, but certainly going to pass the 2 or 3 foot away test. It looks really good, really strong. Of course, things didn't line up quite the way they were originally. I had a bunch of splue that I didn't wipe out of the trigger guard area, so I had to put it back on the milling machine and clean up the trigger guard area, and had to relieve a bunch of inletting on the inside. So that's going to get rebedded here, and you can see here the white lines of the where the cracks were. They weren't cracks, I mean it was broke clean off, but the separations. The forearm screw holes of course didn't line up. I kind of expected they wouldn't. Trick I use when making adjustments like this is I'll draw on the stock a little arrow which direction the hole needs to be adjusted as I go along, adjusting the size of the holes. I don't want to make them any bigger than necessary, just got to be able to get the screws in. And we'll see, I'm going to completely fill the pockets up, and then we'll open up the holes that are created from the epoxy with the bolt in there, so that we have bolt clearance, and then we'll put it on the milling machine and we'll indicate off of those holes for the center, and then use a Forstner to cut new pockets. And if it should be that we need to cut them too large, well, I got a plan for that, and we'll go down that road later. Right now I'm gonna bed the back of the action and the screw holes with laminating resin mixed with milled glass fibers, Cabosil, and some, I just ran some walnut against the end roller of the belt sander to create some walnut dust, and we're going to use that for color. So I'm going to turn the scale on with the cup on it so that it gets a tear. Add resin. And I'm not quite sure how much we're going to need, so hopefully that's a little more than necessary. So we got 8.2 grams, 8.2 times 1.25 equals, and I watch the digits on the calculator and make sure they actually get read. It's 10.25. So we're going to add hardener until we get 10.25 on the scale. There we go. Well, sig figs, 10.2 to 10.3. Okay, there we go. Yeah, hopefully I mixed enough. I think I did. This is the Tap Plastics 314 laminating resin and the 102 fast hardener. You don't use a wax cup so that you don't scrape wax into the mix. These are Dixie paper cups. It's supposed to be about 1 minute of mix time, but it kind of depends on the volume, and I think I've got it pretty good. And I want to make sure I get all around the edges and all over the bottom of the cup and make sure everything's mixed in there good. Okay, I'm going to add some milled glass fiber, Cabosil to make it thick, and some walnut dust to give it some color. If you find you've added too much powder right off the bat, you can just give a little puff of air in there and blow a bunch of it out. You could suck it out with the vacuum. Don't inhale the dust, but these materials tend to fall out of the air very quickly. Cabosil is actually food grade. I understand it's what McDonald's uses in their milkshakes to make them thick. Yuck. I'm looking for thick, cold peanut butter. Yep, that looks pretty good. Kind of looking at the color. I'm going to add just a little more walnut for darken it up a little bit. There, that looks good. It's pretty stiff. Not going to run out all over the place. I think I like it. Hold the color up here. It looks pretty good. Alright, let me just get these things out of the way. Alrighty. So, see how far this bolt sticks through. Oh, okay. Gotta open up that hole. Hello. Not a problem. I'm gonna put this on pause a minute. I gotta go get a drill bit. Okay, I had to open up and adjust that hole. Didn't see that coming. I think we're good now. Didn't actually try to get it into the action because time is starting to get a little short here with the epoxy, but I am pretty sure I can get the bolts into the action. If I can't, then we'll just have to do a second operation. We'll just leave it out and clamp the action in. So I'm just laying some of this bedding compound down into where I removed a bunch of inletting. I waxed the steel with Pardol number 2, which is a non-silicate mold release wax. Alright. I might do a second operation to fill that rear bolt hole. I don't think I'm going to do it now, although some epoxy might get in there. Okay, so now get the action popped in there. Oh, and I also used some small pieces of tape around the openings around the trigger just to make sure we didn't get a glue lock, and everything's well waxed. So, drop her in. Whiscombe is a fun action to get into the stock. Alright, well, let's hope we got a squishy of glue. This looks good. Let's see if this bolt will go in there. It does. Yay. When I had to work on one of these guns very often, I would cut an Allen wrench down so that it could make a swing past the pistol grip. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. I can feel we got a squish going on. Okay, good deal. And I see the screw holes in the action through my opened up holes. Ooh, this one misses. Oh well. We'll just have to do this hole as a separate operation. It looked good. when I prepped, but oh well. We're going to do 3 holes right now. It's okay. I didn't expect to be able to do everything all at once. Now let's see. I'm going to use this. Maybe this. Get that hole packed. No, that's too bad. One hole needs more clearance. That's okay. When we do that, I'll do the rear hole at the same time. Yep, glue's starting to get a little stiff, so got to pick up the pace here. Come on. There we go. Think. Arg. Got it. It's just hard to find the threads. Alright, now I made a mess. Squish this back in the hole. Alright. Looks good to me. I'm going to leave the epoxy proud all around the hole a little bit. Alright. Boy, this front hole is so close, but it's just going to have to be separate. Alrighty. Let's get the other ones. This hole looks good. And this hole looks good. I wouldn't be too surprised if I got to repack all these holes. They're so, wood so thick, they're pretty deep. Yeah, the epoxy is starting to get a little stiff now. We're going to finish just in the nick of time. Who was Nick anyway? There's something for your Google search. Why isn't it? In the Bob of time. The English say Bob's your uncle. Alrighty. Stick that one in there. And this one. And let's see if I can find the threaded hole here. These holes are kind of cavernous. Oh, there we go. Got that one right off the bat. Squishy, squishy. is definitely getting stiff. Oh, I was done. This is the bolt for the hole that needs more adjusting. So we're done. Alright, a little bit of cleanup, let it cure. Oh, I didn't get that one in the hole. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm happy. Let me just roll it over and double check that hole that needs adjustment. Yep, I don't dare do it. The edge of the threaded hole is just slightly occluded by the wood. So that will be a separate operation. No big deal. Nice, we got a little bit of squish out of the top. I'll probably redo this too and get the back a little bit better. And for that matter, I might go along the whole sides and just rebed the whole thing just to make sure it's a perfect fit. Those Whiscombes are very challenging. I think I'll just leave it lay like this. Alright, I'm going to see about getting some more topsoil for my garden, and in a few hours, probably by noon, it is about 7:30, should be cured by about noon. Should be a warm day, we'll put it out in the sun and help it along. Till then, be well. Hello everybody, just a quick update. All the hard and dangerous parts of this repair completed, and I did do secondary operations on the main hold down bolts. Yep, you're seeing it. And that one forearm screw hole that wasn't opened up enough, and so I did that one. And now I can see, based on the real screw locations where they intercept intercept the action correctly. You can see that the forearm section did not go back on exactly the way it was, and a little bit of an angle. You know, really I had to put my focus, you know, the only datum I had was the quality of the appearance of the crack. I tried, you know, if you watch the other videos about this project, I tried a bunch of experiments using IMC6 aluminum plates and clamping things together and trying to figure out how to put the action in there so I could bolt the forearms on at the same time. And the way the wood was distorted from the brake, in order to get the best appearance here, I found that the only thing I could do was just stand there and hold it really hard for about an hour and just get as good a guess on straight and appearance as I could. And so we're off this little bit here. It's really not bad, but it may change up how I deal with the recessed pocket for the screw head. We'll just have to see how it fits, and I really hope that I get to do vacuum air evacuated resin, you know, colored resin inlay. I haven't done that in a long time, and it'd be really cool if I get to do that now, but we'll see. And these came out pretty good. You can see that the forearm has dropped a little bit from its original position is the way it looks, but you know, it's really a small amount. So tomorrow, it's kind of late right now, I just popped the action out from the secondary operation here of bedding, which, by the way, I didn't want to film it because I had to do the manly hairy carry, you know, really, you know, we got the rubber mallet into action kind of thing, and I don't know, I'm a little squeamish showing you what it takes sometimes to break a part free. if there's a little bit of glue lock somewhere, it can provide a particular challenge. The epoxy does not stick to the metal because we waxed it. We used polyvinyl alcohol. There's no way it can stick to the metal, but sometimes it needs a little persuading to get out. Early on, long time ago, sometimes that would scare me. But I've learned to have confidence. They'll all come out. Just some of them need a little persuasion. So tomorrow I'm going to put it on the milling machine. I'm going to center these and use a Forstner bit to cut out new pockets. And we're either going to find a size of Forstner that covers the whole area that's been filled, and it'll look just like it looked before, or maybe we'll leave a little sliver of fill where it's not quite on there. Or if we have one that's particularly bad, like this one, and if that just takes too big a Forstner to cut all the holes that size, either I allow a little sliver of fill to exist, and that's a very attractive idea. I mean, it's easier, and I certainly think it would pass the 3 foot away test. Nobody's going to notice. It's such an incredible stock and such an incredible gun. Nobody's going to notice that little fill. But nonetheless, if it bothers me, I could cut all of them larger and then fill them with colored air evacuated, do it in a vacuum. And it'd be really cool to show you all how to do that. But anyway, we'll see. That'll be tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.